Explaining some Unholy Death Knight here right off the bat, we need to talk about the mulligan. A foul leg is always going to be a keep. Construct quarter is also a keep, so this is really good. Usually I would probably keep Body Bagger if I didn't already have a 1-drop, and then Vizier would never be a keep. So these two cards in your opening hand is the strongest possible opening that you can have, so it's already looking really good for us here. Again, we don't ever want to tunnel vision any specific play, but it's almost guaranteed that we're going to go foul leg into coin construct quarter, just because of the amount of stats that it's going to be able to put on the board here. This particular matchup, we are against a shaman, so likely assuming that this is going to be an evolved shaman, so the matchup I think is okay. A lot of it depends on how quickly they're going to be able to get down the null and then be able to evolve it. So they haven't played a schooling here yet, which is really good news for us. And there's really no reason here to do anything other than what we had already planned to do. This gives us a 4-5 with rush and a 3-3 on the board, so you can see just how strong this is right off the bat. It also gives us a corpse because we killed our foul leg. So next turn, potentially, if we don't draw something better, we can play a Battlefield Necromancer, and that's going to put 2 minions on the board for us. Being able to stay wide with Unholy Death Knight is still really good, and Peasant is a great top deck. So no reason to delay here. We're just going to go ahead and get down our Necromancer and our Peasant, and then we're going to push this 7-face, pass it back to our opponent. So the reason why we want to stay wide on the board is, of course, because of Grave Strength. You may already be a little bit familiar with this deck. It actually just got a little bit better thanks to the Construct Quarter here. Unfortunately, our opponent had a really strong turn 4 play. They hit Glug off of the far site here, so this is going to go up to 11 health. We may actually just be able to ignore it, though. Potentially on turn 5, they would have command of Neptulon, in which case they could take some trades. And then on, or they could also have Prescience, which would put more taunts in the way. But it's likely that they're actually going to have to use this one big minion to trade, so I think we can actually just get around this. And we're likely going to want to destroy probably the Body Bagger. I think I want to get down the Hawkstrider Rancher. Next turn we could potentially look for like an Asphyxiate to be able to remove this. So I need to do this in the right order. Maybe I just destroy the 1-3, but then my taunt is gone. It would be nice if they had to push in with a taunt just to be able to protect. So I think we're actually going to do this, and we're going to maintain our 1-3 here. So we'll do that. We'll make a trade like this, and I'm going to get down the Hawkstrider Rancher, and I'm just going to ignore this big body Glug here. So this could go a little bit wrong for us, but I think this is definitely the correct play to make in this situation. It's probably not something that we're going to see very often, the turn 4 Glug, but it is something that is very powerful. So best play for them is going to be Command of Neptulon. That gives them the 5/4s with Rush. This is also good. I mean, they're going to have to make a trade here, unless there's some unexpected card. We're going to have to push through these two guys, but it's not all that bad. Question here now is, what's actually going to be the best play that we can possibly make? It might even actually just be getting rid of the Peasant to be able to get more board space. I think I want to play the School Teacher and potentially try to look for something that can maybe remove this big guy. It doesn't look like we're going to have lethal this particular turn. We should be able to push at least 6. We're going to see what we get off of the School Teacher here. We do hit an Icy Touch, so we can freeze the Glug, which is going to be nice. So I think I am just going to go ahead and trade away my Peasant here. Other option would be to actually trade away the Battlefield Necromancer, and I think I like that better. Just get rid of this Battlefield Necromancer, and then I'm going to play this guy to be able to freeze the Glug in place. And then I'm just going to take some trades. This allows me to potentially be able to maintain my card draw. And also, when you have the Battlefield Necromancer on the board, it's using a corpse every single turn. So if our plan is to be able to draw a Grave Strength, or if we had one in hand, then ideally we're going to want the 5 corpses to be able to maximize that. And we see our opponent does evolve, and it's actually the Evolve Discover. They have lots of good outcomes that could potentially come off of that. And this ends up being a really good turn for our opponent. So again, just the early Glug combined with additional taunts is proven problematic for us here. And the more minions that we remove, the bigger this gets. So we're really going to be looking to finish off our opponent here as quickly as possible. And if not as a fallback, maybe we just drop down into Ruby and Swarm Guard. Just be able to get some taunts in place to protect ourselves. Potentially, if we can hit like a Grave Strength, we could look at maybe like a Hero Power. We would still need 2 more corpses. Oh, they hit a Rush minion here as well. Not sure why it took them so long to select that, because that ends up being really good. And it's going to make their Glug insanely big. So the good news is we do hit a Grave Strength, and this is actually going to be lethal, I think. We should be able to work it out. So we Hero Power, trade, Grave Strength, and then we're going to have 8 and 7 is going to be 15. So this is going to be lethal here. Want to make sure we make this trade. That gives us the 5 corpses that we're going to need. Then we can play our Grave Strength. And then we're going to trade into the taunts with the 2 lower attack minions, of course. And then we are going to go face and actually close out that game. Whoa!